What's up, guys? This is Tedsworn here from Rising Duelist, and today I've got a little bit of an informational video on what cards you should run in Twilightsworns. Now, I was super excited when these Twilightsworn cards came out because I've always been a big fan of Lightsworns. If you didn't know where my name came from, the Tedsworn, the sworn part is because I've always been such a big fan of Lightsworns. So, let's get this started here. The first one I want to talk about, I'm going to start with more of like a 40 card variant versus a 60 card variant, and I'll talk about why I prefer 40 over 60, but why 60 is still super fun to play. In the 40 card version, I still do run 2 Pot of Desires, just because I know there's all those discussions out there like, why Pot of Desires is so bad, like it's a neg 9. No, it's not, it's a +1. This deck tends to be very bricky, so having Pot of Desires can really help. Also, the reason, another reason to have the Pot of Desires is because you want to run 2 Necro Phases in here. Necro Phase is a great card that interacts with face down banished monsters and spells, traps, whatever. It shuffles all the banished cards back in and gains 100 for each. So if you're using 2 Pot of Desires in a duel, you're gonna have a 5200 beat stick on the board in Necro Phase. So also another reason to run Necro Phase is that when you banish it, it banishes 5 cards from the top of your deck. So if you need like one more Lightsworn name banished for Punishment Dragon, Necro Phase can be a great way to make that happen. Yeah, it's a little bit luck based, but then again, so is the entire deck. You can banish Necro Phase from hand, field, or grave off of snow, and you can banish it off of this next card, which is Allure of Darkness. You only have roughly 7 dark targets in the 40 card variant, but Allure of Darkness is still super good because, again, you can banish the Necro Phase, or Punishment Dragon, or a Twilightsworn Lumina. But even blind alluring is super good, because what if you've got your Eclipse Wyvern and your Fairy Tale Snow in your hand and you need to get them out of your hand? You blind allure, you don't draw any dark monsters, you've now got those in grave, which means you can go into Judgment Dragon or Punishment Dragon using Snow. So the next card I want to talk about is Jet Synchron. Now, D Barrier, our Dusty D, kind of won me over on this card. Just by using it in his, it's really great. You can use it so many times because of Punishment Dragon. It also helps like it helps with your Crystal Wing plays. Like if you want to go that route, you can make like Moonlight or Black Rose, and then go into Crystal Wing with it. The fact that it's just another effect that you can use from your graveyard, just adds so much to this deck. Next, I want to talk about Angel of Zehra. Now, before last week, I had not even heard of this card, but somebody used it against me at locals, and I just noticed it was really cool. Now, the effect reads that this card gains 100 attack for each of your opponent's banished cards, and during the standby phase of the next turn after this card was banished, special summon this banished card. You can only use the effect of Angel of Zehra once per turn. So the only negative is that it is a hard once per turn. So you can't just spam Angel of Zehras and then banish them all and then bring them all back. But it is 1 free card to banish off of Snow, and you're going to get it back. That pretty much wraps up what I would run in the 40 card variant. But for the 60 card variant, obviously you've got Grass and it's at 1, so you're going to need the Left Arm Offerings. But another reason Left Arm Offering is good is because even if, let's say, you banish your Grass off Pot of Desires, you can still, like, let's say you've got a couple of Lightsworn names in your hand, you can use Left Arm Offering, banish those, and add something like Charge of the Light Brigade, even Reasoning, something like that. You don't just need to add Grass. It's great because it can help you get more names for Punishment Dragon. Another super cool card that I came across looking through an old box of commons recently was Fiend Comedian. This is another, it's a trap that I hadn't heard of either. Its effect reads, toss a coin and call it. If you call it right, all your opponent's cards in the graveyard are removed from play immediately. So, you know, it's an old card. If you call it wrong, send a number of cards equal to the cards in your opponent's graveyard from your deck to the graveyard. So this can literally be like an extra grass if for whatever reason your grass gets milled or banished. I've had games where Fiend Comedian has banished upwards of 30 cards from the top, milled upwards of 30 cards from the top of my deck. So just having that as a resource is incredible. Plus, like, it's not very trap heavy deck, so just having that kind of mixes things up a little bit. Like, the only downside of Fiend Comedian is that it is a trap, but and it's a coin toss. So I mean,
spicy tech.
Yeah, exactly. I would not mind getting it wrong. Like, I'm good either way. I mean, you get it right, your opponent's graveyard's gone. If you get it wrong, like, you're benefiting more. So and you almost want to get the coin toss wrong. The last card that is just something that I enjoy running in the 60 card variant is Darklaw. The reason being, in the 60 card variant, you have a lot of different dark monsters that you can use with Mask Change 2. But even Mask Change 2 is great for, like, I've discarded Snow when I haven't had a Snow engrave. So it's just something that can kind of help keep the deck going. And also Darklaw just in general, like, this is a very search heavy meta, so being able to take something out of your opponent's hand when they search and, like, having their graveyard banished, it's just overall a great weapon to have in your deck. The final discussion that I thought of is there's a little bit of a debate going on between which one is better, Judgment Dragon or Punishment Dragon. And I would personally sit on the fence between the two. Like, I don't think either one is better. They both have their ups and downs. The upsides are, obviously, they're super easy to get out if you've got the names. Otherwise, they're both just as bricky. You don't want to see them in your opening hand, like, ever, unless you have grass in your opening hand too. The reason that I say Punishment Dragon might have a slight edge is that it's during either player's turn and it's a quick effect. So if somebody's gonna destroy it, you can just chain it. Also, the reason that I think its milling effect is better is because if one of your Lightsworns, let's say you've got Minerva and your Minerva gets destroyed, you're going to be milling the 3 off of Minerva and then 4 more off of this one on your opponent's turn. So that just keeps everything going. Alright, that about wraps it up. I'm Tedsworn. Make sure to check out a bunch of our other videos. We got some new content coming out for you guys. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy it, and peace.